Welcome back to the Fin Factor for episode 231. I am Aaron.
And I'm Deveraux.
Paul is off gallivanting in the snow, so he is not with us. He is with us in the chat if you happen to be here for the live, so you'll see him chime in a bunch of times, and I might end up muting him or booting him for a 90-second timeout. We'll see. Don't make me mad, Paul. Deveraux, thank you for coming once again.
You should put me in the box because I just stepped all over you. Sorry about that. Yes, Paul's not here, but I'm here, as Aaron eloquently described, as I stepped all over.
He'll be fine, I'm sure. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, super producer Jason. So, let's get it. We had 3 games this week.
Okay.
Against, I think there are top 11... 3 of the top 11 teams in the NHL.
Yep, the entire league.
Yeah. So first one up is against Colorado Avalanche. I cannot talk today. The Winnipeg. Yes. Man, I can see my own notes. Winnipeg Jets.
Yes.
This game, the Sharks. Let's start from the very beginning. Tyler Toffoli gets a goal from Kovalenko.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah. Oh, the build-up to that play.
Yes. Go ahead. You want to take it?
It was, I don't know if you all have seen it. It's pretty much on the near side boards. Kovalenko almost does like a backhanded, like no look almost. Mm-hmm. He's right on the board, doesn't no look, starts to play. They go into the zone. And it goes to, is it Winberg? Anyway, it cycles through. And then Kovalenko dishes it to Toffoli. Close shot. Believe left side, the goalie, right inside the near post. Bam. But it was the no look. Kovalenko starts that whole movement.
Yeah. So they're breaking out from their own zone. Kovalenko's up against the boards, and he's got 2 guys on him, pinning him, and he sees, I can't even remember who it was now. It might have been Toffoli, actually.
Okay. And then, yeah.
He jets it out to him, and it gets right onto a stick.
It's perfect.
And he's in stride.
Any better.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then they get it in deep, and they kind of cycle around, and then Kovalenko ends up behind the goal against the boards and wins the puck battle.
Yeah, he
turns and sees Toffoli. And
bam, right there, snap, bam.
Hands it right to him. Toffoli's in the slot, and he buried. He's not going to miss. Well, I don't say he doesn't miss it because he does sometimes.
Yes, he makes most of those.
Weeks ago. Yeah, most of this he's not going to miss. So that was a great goal. But Kovalenko made the play not just on the assist, but to start
the whole thing. Yeah, he did the whole thing.
He broke the Winnipeg
press.
The press, which is back
forecheck,
whatever. Back check, forecheck, paycheck. So
check.
He broke it up, and he did all the work for this goal. So it was amazing to see. Now, unfortunately, that was his last assist in these 3 games. I don't think he got another point later in the
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
So I was like, oh man, this is great. He's playing so well. Let me look up how many points he's gotten, and I'm like, oh,
okay, about
one
that.
assist in those 3 games. But I love the way he plays. I think this is a fantastic pickup because this was who they traded Blackwood to Colorado for. They got a 2nd-round draft pick coming back, along with Kovalenko. So, like Paul and I had talked about before, trading Blackwood would have been great if they would get a 2nd-round pick and a prospect, and that's exactly what they got.
Perfect.
A 2nd-round pick and a prospect. Then they swapped 5th-round picks, which who cares about?
You've all spoken into existence.
Right. Exactly.
There it is. It was almost verbatim.
I think we did a Sunday night show, and I think the trade was on Monday.
It was like almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You're following the script. That's good.
Yes. Yeah. They're listening. They're clearly listening. Okay. Then Zetterlund. Celebrini scores the next goal here. This one was kind of a weird one.
It was really weird.
He was trying to play it to Winberg, and he gave him like a backhand pass. Winberg was kind of in front of the net. And Winberg, I think, whiffed on trying to catch the puck.
It was.
And
it just goes right through.
Hellbuck didn't even see it.
It just goes right. And it was like a slow. It was like
it was like a changeup, right? Like, it was
It's
just
like
a weird...
Celebrini's like, that's
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
Just like his first goal in the NHL where
Yeah.
it bounced off the defender. It's kind of like, oh, I scored? Cool.
That counts. That
All
counts.
right. Yeah. They don't ask how, just how many.
Yes.
So, Celebrini gets another goal. We'll get to him a little bit later about the Calder race with him and
Yes.
Michkov and some other folks. So,
But the first period.
Yeah.
They came out. The first half of the first period, I think.
That was the second period.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But going back. The first period, the first half of the first period, it was almost textbook. It was like, you would have thought the Sharks were like the number one team in the West. They were getting shots, they were playing defense. I think Winnipeg only had 1 or 2 shots. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay.
The Sharks actually outshot Winnipeg 10-9 in the first period. Second period, they outshot them again, 14-7. You don't see this happening much, where the Sharks are outshooting their opponent, and they're playing Winnipeg, who is the number one team in the NHL, and they took it to them. And Paul and I have talked about this. A lot of teams last season, not so much this season anymore, would play their backup goalies against the Sharks.
I remember this. I remember you saying, that was a thing.
This game, Hellebuck is playing, which he does get a lot of games, but they were going. I looked this up too last week because I wasn't sure. They're playing back-to-backs. All 3 of these teams played back-to-back. So they were going. They came into San Jose. Winnipeg came into San Jose. The next night they went to Anaheim. They chose to play Hellebuck against the Sharks, not against the Ducks. Now, I would think that the Ducks, maybe teams would think that the Ducks are a little bit more dangerous than the Sharks.
Higher in the ranks, in the standings.
But
I know.
And then look at
the
next game against Colorado was Blackwood. And then the Edmonton Oilers did play was it Skinner? Or was
Skinner.
it
I think it was Pickard.
Pickard.
Yeah.
Who is their backup.
Yeah.
Because Edmonton is also playing today. So they played the next night. So 2 out of 3.
Some
I
respect.
guess.
Some respect.
They're getting some respect.
A lot of respect.
They're a much harder opponent than they were. Definitely harder than last season.
This is how you learn, by going up against the best. And they have a lot of learning to do, but they're working on it. They're working on it.
Now, Zetterlund got the go-ahead goal. It was a 3-on-1. It was snipe,
nice.
Man.
That was one of those when you just catch it cleanly, like even when you're playing soccer or you smoke like a baseball or something like that. He sniped. I mean, he knew it right from the jump. He's like, yeah, let's go. 3-1.
That corner, man.
It was like, let's go.
I mean, Zetterlund's a shooter. The shooters are going to shoot. And I'm so glad because there's a couple 3-on-1s that I've seen by the Sharks, and they pass. Don't even get a shot off.
Are you going to pass it? You're going to pass it into the net?
Yeah, exactly. They're looking for that tap in.
Yeah.
Tic-tac-toe tap in goal.
Yeah. Tiki-taka. Yeah. Like, no. Just get it. Just shoot the thing. Just shoot the puck.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah, what else did I have on this shot? We already talked about the outshot. So, we get to the third period. The third period woes.
I wish we could have... Can we maybe just do 2-period games?
Just 40 minutes, not 60. We'll stop after 40.
Just short.
The first 40 minutes have been... The Sharks have been playing great. They've been playing like a competitive playoff bubble team.
A legitimate team.
These guys should be respected. They should be good, and they've been playing well. This third period, though, let's see. The Sharks ended up... Winnipeg ties it with 11 minutes left in the third period. Then they score a go-ahead goal with a minute 17 left.
Was the tying goal, was that the power play goal?
Power play goal. So they gave up. They had 2 power play chances, and they scored 2 power play goals. I have a note on this in a little bit,
2 and
too.
2. Okay, yep.
So the Sharks were 0 for... I'm sorry, they had this game. I'm mixing these up. 2 for 2. I was right.
Yeah,
they were 2 for 2 on the power play. So they buried their chances. Now, Winnipeg, again, top team in the league. They've been scoring like crazy. They've been winning.
They're talented.
They are talented. But I don't think a lot of people were considering them to be the top team in the league starting the season.
Oh, no.
You're right. Top 10, but not dominating like they have been.
Yeah.
But they have been dominating. Absolutely obliterating everybody. I mean, we saw them. They played the Sharks and beat them 7-2. I think it was, or 9-2. I can't even remember now. It was earlier.
A touchdown and a safety. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. It was ugly. It was an ugly game. But that was without Celebrini. That was when he was hurt in the beginning of the season. So much better. This was a hard-fought game. This was very hard. So that goal that scored the go-ahead goal was by Adam Lowry. His dad played for the Sharks.
Oh. Okay.
It was assisted by Dylan DeMello.
Former
Shark.
Yeah.
So a former Shark's son assisted by a former Shark for the game winner with a minute and 17 left in the game.
that was a rough one to. If you see the goal, it's just one of those. That's a nice. DeMelo's just pretty much like just trying to get it to the net.
Yep.
Lowry's in front, just gets a nice little tip right there, and just goes right to the right of Georgiev.
Right over his shoulder, right?
Just boop.
Yep.
And it's just, oh, okay, there we go. It just felt like it was, again, can we just do 2 periods again?
Yeah.
Because in the midway through the third period, it just felt like, can they hold on? And they were winning. And they had the lead, but it just felt like, is this team going to put it together?
I mean, that's the difference between a good team and a not a good team, right? The good teams, like Winnipeg, know how to come back.
Know how to win. We've been here before.
Put the work in, right? For a period. You got 20 minutes left. You're down by a goal. Let's get this.
Let's do it.
Right? They do it. They come back. The Sharks, on the other hand, felt like they were skating on their heels that whole period. Just trying to just surviving.
Yeah. It was like we gave them too much time. Like, you know, like you don't want to give the ball to Patrick Mahomes, right? With like 2 minutes left. Mm-hmm. No, you want to give it to him with like 3 seconds left. Like, have fun doing this Hail Mary. But it just seemed like at that third period, they were just, we can't give it up, right? We're doing these, we got to do this, we got to do that. They weren't creating enough offensive chances. It was almost like, okay, we can't lose, just play defense. And then that let them down. Because
they don't have the dagger.
Can't do that.
They need that nail in the coffin, that goal to make it a 2-goal, maybe a 3-goal lead. And then put the game away.
And then it's over. It's a wrap.
They don't have
You're
it.
done.
They can't step on the gas. They're on their heels. They're afraid to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. And then because they're afraid to make mistakes, they're making mistakes.
They make mistakes.
In NHL, it's a game about mistakes and limiting your mistakes.
And, I want to play to not lose. Then you lose. You play lose. To win the game.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, one freak accident or freak thing that happened in this game. Vanacek was on the bench. Because Georgiev was playing. Mm-hmm. He's on the bench, and he's kind of they sit kind of behind the bench in the hallway. Yeah. Right? Or in the hallway going towards the
right by the lock. Yeah, the tunnel.
Puck gets dumped out. Eklund gets a stick on it. It goes off of his stick, and it's deflected towards the bench. Wow. He doesn't even see it coming. Hits him in the side of the head, somewhere on the side of the head.
Wow.
Knocked him. I don't know if he got knocked out, but it hit him hard.
No, yeah.
Right? He's not wearing his mask. He's watching the game. Hit the side of the head. Immediately goes off. They have to bring in the E-Bug, the emergency backup goalie. And he left the game and went on IR the next day. So, and he's out. And I think Warsofsky had said he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. So, concussion, I'm guessing.
I would assume.
They didn't say it, but I'm guessing concussion. I don't know how bad, like maybe it was cut really bad. I don't know exactly
Stitches,
where. All they said was side of the head. So
could have hit him in the eye.
Hit in the side.
That's how you knock out people, right?
Yes,
right in the temple,
exactly.
Right? It could have hit him in the eye, a temple shot, just ring his bell, he goes down.
So that was another unfortunate thing from this game is they lose Vanacek. And Vanacek, the poor guy, man, he can't stay healthy. It's the stupidest injury, right?
That's so bad.
How often does that happen in a season?
I've never.
Once?
Yeah.
Every couple of seasons?
Seasons. Let's go a few.
Like I've seen it before where a coach has been hit from a puck coming up.
Okay, but even that doesn't
rare.
That's not common.
Rare. That's once every 20 years or something where someone gets hit really bad with a puck. It is so rare. It is such a dumb play. Like I can't believe that happened.
I can because he's on my fantasy team. That's why I can believe.
That's right. Deveraux is in. So we have our fantasy league trophy for the Fin Factor League, but he's in a league with me that we've been running now for, this is our 18th or 19th season. I think it's the 19th season.
I think I joined like 10 or 12 years. Yeah, 10. Yeah.
And we have
it's gorgeous.
Almost 1-to-1 Stanley Cup replica trophy that
it's gorgeous.
The names get hand stamped in by me because I'm the commissioner. But we've been doing this league for a long time. But Deveraux, you don't want to tell them how many times your name is on there, do you?
0 for now. The highest I've finished is 4th, and I was playing you in the semis maybe like 5 years ago. Yeah. And you beat me, so I got 4th place. I think
That's the highest you've gotten?
Yeah.
I've only won it twice out of the 19 years. Other guys have won it 5 times, 4 or 5 times.
0. So I mean,
yeah. I'm sure some of the guys are watching right now too. Yeah, they're laughing. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry he's on your fantasy team.
You know who else on my fantasy team?
Who? Georgiev?
Yep, sure is. It's not a joke. I'm being serious. Yeah, he got traded. I was like...
But you had him when he was on Colorado.
Yes, and so this has been a whole thing. I still have to work. I'll work it out during Christmas time. I got to find some goalies.
You know it's Christmas time.
Crap. Okay, tomorrow.
All right. Anyway, the whole point of that story is Askarov gets called up because Vanacek goes on IR. So Askarov is now called up for the game against Colorado. He doesn't play against Colorado. They do have Georgiev go in. So back-to-back games for Georgiev. They were kind of trading off Vanacek, Georgiev, Vanacek. But now that he's hurt, they called up Askarov. They wanted Georgiev, I think, to have the revenge game against the team that traded him.
Also,
and Blackwood started for Colorado.
They played it perfect. They were like, we want this. We knew the fans wanted this. Obviously, the goalies would want this. And the coaches didn't do that thing of, you know what? Just give us just do it. Just go. It's regular season.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
Why not?
Let's go.
See who's going to win. Now, the Sharks, in this one, I got to pull up the stats again real quick. Colorado scores first, again on the power play. So, Nishuskin, that's a tough name.
You nailed it.
Yeah, thanks. Nailed it. Scores 3 minutes into the game on the power play. Let's see what they ended up. They were 2 for 4 on the power play in this game. The Sharks go 0-4 on the power play against this game. Again,
but they were creating chances.
They were.
At least they got some power play time. But
second period,
nothing.
Second period, Grundstrom gets the first goal of the season for him.
Yeah.
He hasn't scored all season since he's
from LA, right?
Got signed. He came from LA.
Yeah.
So not his first NHL goal.
No,
his first goal with the Sharks.
That guy.
Yeah, he's a tough.
But I like him now.
Fourth line guy. Yeah. He's a great
I like him now. He's on the Sharks.
Guy.
I like all Sharks players.
And the players were very excited for him. They celebrated hard with him because he has been working his tail off and hasn't been able to score. So for him to get this goal, big time for him.
Huge.
Yeah. So he scores, and then who was the other? What's my other note I had in here? William Eklund scores. This one was a weird one, and it actually went under review for 2 minutes.
That was nice. Yeah. Well, it was nice that the goal still counted, but it was.
It was a weird play because the puck, I think, hit off the glass and was coming up high, and he was standing in front of the goalie.
Yeah.
And he kind of swatted it down with a high touch.
No, he swatted it up.
Or up, sorry.
Yeah, so he kind of catches it up, and it almost looked like he was trying to pass it to himself.
Yeah.
And then it goes to CC, it goes behind him, away from the goal, and then it's 2 Avalanche players, and CC is here, and then they kind of fight it out, and then CC actually does another soccer play. They're doing a lot of soccer. He does almost a little back heel to.
It goes right to his stick.
Yeah, it goes right to his stick.
And he's
like,
wide open
cool.
in front of the net. Yeah, and he puts it away.
Yeah.
So they reviewed it for the high touch. Now the rule in the high touch is if your stick is above your shoulders.
Okay.
So if you're holding it here and you hit it, it's fine. As soon as you raise that stick, if it hits the puck above your shoulders and it hits your stick up here, it's a high touch, not high stick, high touch. And then the play is dead. And I believe if it goes to your teammate, that was the other review. So if you high touch it and your teammate touches it, it's kind of like a hand pass.
Yeah,
But if you high touch it and the other team plays with it, it's fine.
Because it's just kind of you lose the puck and just play on. Yeah.
And after he high touches it, CC was kind of in the scrum with their players. They're trying to. That's what took so long in the review.
Got it.
But it took, I think it was 2 minutes. It was a long time.
It's just count the goal.
Exactly. It wasn't enough, and they called it a goal on the ice.
And
if it was the other way around and they called it a high touch,
I was kind of a little surprised they didn't disallow. It just seemed it was close.
I think.
You think it's because it went to the scrum? You think because it went?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because who touched it touched it first after he high touched?
Probably an Avalanche player. Probably hit it or skate. Yeah. Kind of bounced off.
So I think they should err to the side of caution in favor of goals rather than no goals because the NHL is having a problem with not enough goals. So why would you empower the referees to take way more goals? It should be the other way around.
And not because the Sharks scored that goal. Not because of that. Definitely not because of that.
No. This isn't a Shark show. So they ended up going up. What was that? That made it 2-1. So they have the lead now against a very good Colorado Avalanche team.
True.
Then they go into the third period. And what happens?
Well, I think we might have seen this story before, but I think let's go over it. Every day is different. Every game is different. Let's just see what happens.
It's deja vu all over again.
It's Groundhog Day.
Yes. 3 goals scored by Colorado in the third period here. So none of them are empty netters.
Ooh,
So they scored. No. They tie the game on a power play goal. Another power play goal.
I thought I had deja vu. It was almost the exact same play that Scheifele, and that pass, we're going back to the Winnipeg game. Scheifele from the left wing all the way across to the right wing, tap in, or not a tap in, but they score. Kyle Connor scores. Avalanche do the exact same thing. McKinnon, he's on my fantasy team. Thank you, shout out. Passes it across, not a tap in, but again, he roofs it, scores a great goal. And it's just like, okay, here we go. Third period's officially started. Let's go. It was almost the same. The same.
Right now, Sharks fans, do you have any confidence whatsoever with the Sharks going into the third period with the lead? It's almost like they should not have the lead.
And have that push back. And okay, we got to fight for this instead of, can we hold on? No, you can't.
They can't hold the lead right now.
Not yet. Not right now.
Awful. I mean, that the 3 games, they ended up with 1 point out of the 3 games.
And when they could have had 6. Game. They were in every game. They were
And I had said last week, when we looked at the upcoming games, like what do you think the Sharks will, how would they finish this week? And I was like, I'm going to go on a limb and say they're going to beat Colorado and they're going to beat Edmonton.
Okay.
And they almost did.
They didn't follow the script that time.
Anyway, so Colorado went 2 for 4 on the power play. The Sharks ended up losing this game 4-2. And the Sharks' penalty kill is now currently in 19th in the league at 79%. It was hovering around 15 and 14 in the
middle
league.
Middle of the pack. Middle, right? Respectable, average for a team that is last.
Yeah.
In the that's almost like almost like the numbers don't make sense, but they were fighting so well on the penalty kill that the numbers bear them, and then just it's hit a definitely a rough patch, but they're tired. Yes. They're gassed. Yes. And then mentally, I'm assuming that I've never played professional hockey. Sorry to burst anyone's bubble. It's got to be wearing on them. They know this is the third period, and we're on the penalty kill. Yeah. What happened last time? What happened last game? Well, not so good. What happened maybe 3 nights ago? Yeah, it's mental. Yeah. They know. Mm-hmm. Again. Okay, not again. Let's not do this again.
Difference between a good team and an up-and-coming young team. Yeah. They're learning this.
They have to. This is the growing pains.
It's the growing pains that they're going to go through. And again, going back to, I think it was Alan Hoshida said, progress isn't linear. No. It's going to be
it's a lot of hills, ups and downs, ebbs and flows.
Yeah. Right now they're down. I mean, I think I posted this on Blue Sky. It's the morale booster week. They lost 3 games.
That they were in.
They were in all 3 of them. And the mistakes that they made are correctable. They're fixable. Yeah. So learn from your mistakes, get better, show that you're learning from your mistakes, and get better. And I think they're going to do that.
Real quick, this game, going back to something you said previously, and what you've been saying about Will Smith, he was involved a lot in this game. I think he had 5 shots. That's a lot. I think he only had like 10 minutes of ice time. 5 shots in 10 minutes. That's a lot. He's getting into the areas where he can score a goal. He had not a breakaway, but a great pass. I think it was like a 2-on-1, and then Blackwood just stoned him with his glove. That was tough. And then he also turned the puck over, trying to be aggressive, we got to get a goal. Tries like a back no-look pass, gets intercepted right away. Colorado goes down, scores. And it was pretty much, okay, well, that's all she wrote. But like you said, he needs more games. He and Celebrini are peers, but they're on different levels. And it's showing. But we're not giving up. He's still a fine player.
What do you think about Will Smith? Do you think he needs to go down to the AHL? Do you think he's good enough to stick in the NHL right now?
I had a note about this. So I'm glad you did that. We didn't even talk about this. This is just
Paul right now is in the comments going, Will's all caps. He's twitching. Oh, Will Smith, no.
I mean, like, he and Celebrini are like, they're 18. They are almost the same height. I think 6 foot. Macklin, I think, is like 2 or 10 pounds heavier. But Celebrini just plays bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And not like, I'm not saying like spin and like shot passing and like, no. Just his impact. Like, when he's on the ice.
Yes.
But not just for his offense. Not just for offense. I mean, he'll put a hit in. He'll back check. He gets a stick in there. And it just seems like Will Smith just, maybe just a little bit more. I don't know if it's the weight. He's only like 180 pounds. He got just, not steamrolled, but he got flattened by like an Avalanche defender. He was 6'5". I mean, he's outweighing him by 50 pounds. But that was one of those like, well, see, that's like an example right there of...
Yeah.
Like just a little, it's just different. He didn't have a good game, but he had a good game.
Said, did you see that they were at the Warriors game? Did you see that?
Oh no, I didn't.
Zephyr said it's because the Warriors didn't put Smith on Jumbotron with Mac. Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini were on the Jumbotron, and they only said Sharks Macklin Celebrini is in the house. And you could see them kind of giggling, like
I cannot. No way. They did that.
Put Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini. It was just Macklin Celebrini.
No way. Not even like and teammate.
No.
And friend.
Nope. Nothing.
Was that this week? Or
yeah,
was
that was this week. This last week. Yeah. I think it was on
I need to
one
watch
of their
that.
off nights. Whatever.
That's the height of disrespect. That's rough. Come on.
Come
on, Warriors. Come on. Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, all's forgiven.
Paul is furiously typing right now.
He has been typing.
I told you. You can see them all in there. All right, moving on to the next game. Edmonton Oilers. Askarov getting the start here. This storyline is Askarov.
Let's go.
All Askarov in this game. My first note, Askarov.
AAA.
Sharks score in the first period. Cunning gets the Sharks the lead. And then the second period, Hyman scores. Now, Hyman scored 50-something goals in the regular season. He added another, whatever. He ended up with 70 goals in the regular season and playoffs last year.
I know, he was on,
Just
that's right.
ridiculous.
That's right. They went to the They were scoring, you're right.
So Edmonton loves to cycle around. When they get the puck and they're in the zone, there's so much movement of every single player on the ice, just constantly moving, and they create these like soft picks. Now, you're not allowed to pick like you do in basketball.
Yeah.
It's interference, right?
You can't just,
But they...
Right on the border, right?
Right, man.
Yeah, they're right in there.
They push the line.
Yeah. And you can't call, again, the refs can't call everything.
Unless they fully bulldoze somebody,
Yeah.
they're not going to call anything. So what it does is it creates a lot of space for their very high-skilled players.
Yeah.
Drysdale,
Free them up.
McDavid.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. Hyman, another one. Bouchard, another one. So they're very good at it, and it's very frustrating to watch as a non-Edmonton Oilers fan.
Yeah.
Because they're so good.
Because it's almost like they're like it looks like they're on the power play.
Exactly.
And you're like,
wait.
Are the Sharks? No, there's 5 and 5, but they can't catch up to the puck.
And it just gasses them. They're done by the time the cycle gets through. Now, the Sharks used to run the cycle a little differently back in the heyday with Thornton and Marlowe and stuff. They were more bigger bodies up against the boards behind the goal. They would constantly cycle into the corners.
And they try to...
As soon as like you tire out the other team, then you have somebody coming in the slot.
And then bam, one-timer, tap in, and say, boom.
So I understand the frustration and other teams get when they watch this, but it still sucks to watch.
When Kunin scored, because he scored within the first, 3 or 4 minutes of
3 minutes into the game. Yeah.
That place was silent.
Yes.
Was, I mean, it was like but it wasn't like a
it
it wasn't boo.
No.
It was just like, what?
Yeah.
Game on?
The Sharks?
The Sharks?
Really? I mean, granted, it was a 1 p.m. game, so it's a little different. I think you get it's always at least for the Sharks games, home games.
Yeah. Oh, I can.
1 p.m. games are usually more families, so you get more kids. The vibe is a little bit different than you get in that game. More chill, less. I don't want to say drunk people, but less.
Well, that's what you did say. So.
Yeah, well, less.
Yeah, they haven't had enough time to pregame and
adults.
exactly.
So it's not a Saturday night. It's a Saturday afternoon game, so it's a little bit different.
Or they're probably hungover from the night before, so they can't even go to the 1 p.m. game.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yes, the head hurts still, right? So anyway, stunned silence. I think
it was quiet.
It's great. It
was crazy.
It's a holy cow. We were just in the Stanley Cup Finals, and now we're losing to the Sharks.
Yep, right from the jump.
If you remember last season, the Sharks were on a 12-game skid, 11-game skid, and their first win last season was against the Edmonton Oilers in November. They lost all of October. And that kicked off Jay Woodcroft getting fired.
Yes.
Because the Oilers at that point had dropped so low.
Yeah.
And then they lost to the Sharks. That's just
and you went even lower.
Yeah, and you got even lower. And then from that point, they shot up, and they ended up going to the Stanley Cup Finals. But anyway.
You're welcome, Edmonton. You're welcome.
This team pushed to Game 7. They were down 3-1 in the series, and they pushed to a Game 7. And then they lost. Yeah. But still, that's a lot of hockey. It's a lot of hockey in these guys. Anyway, the second period is where Askarov shined.
He made so many saves where you're like,
how'd you get there? Made?
In the second period alone?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to just try to do some weird thing. I'm going to say, I'll say 20.
23. 23 saves.
Okay. He's Jordan.
It's insane. A lot of them were, there were probably 3 or 4 that should have been goals.
Oh, no.
Easy.
You're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he came across. He's so athletic. After that period, I started seeing because I'm more on Blue Sky than Twitter. I think Paul does more Twitter. I do more of the Blue Sky stuff.
That's good. You're covering all your bases.
Yes, and there were Oilers fans going, "Holy cow! Who is this guy?" Yeah, they were amazed, and then some of them even going, the Sharks are going to be trouble in a couple years. They see it. They're not there yet, but they see Celebrini. They see Askarov. They're seeing everyone that's coming together, right? To me, it was like, I remember when the Sharks played the Colorado Avalanche, and Makar had just gotten called up for the first time because he had just finished his collegiate year, and they were in the playoffs. This was the second round when the Sharks ended up going to the conference finals against St. Louis and losing to St. Louis. They go to Colorado. They go to 7 games. Makar played, and I was like, oh, man, this kid
you just could tell.
He's like, legit. Yeah. Like, he's going to be winning Norris trophies, which he ended up doing. But you could tell that team was just getting there. Just getting to be their dominant selves, which they ended up doing. They won 2 cups. So, 1 or 2. Maybe just 1.
Just 1.
But still, you could see the potential. Yeah. And that's what it felt like the Edmonton fans going, oh, boy, like, this team is not going to be a pushover like they used to be. They're only going to get better. They're not going to get worse.
And they're not biased, right? They're not looking at him through rose-colored glasses like, oh, just all enamored. They're like, yo, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
We don't want to play against this guy.
The way they said it is the Sharks are going to be a problem in a couple years. Like, they're going to be a tough team to beat, which they kind of are now. All right, this season. I think they're getting to be a much more respected and harder team to play against.
Just that final third period, which is the hardest period. It's the hardest period.
Again. Okay.
It's the hardest period.
Not to be repeating ourselves, but the third period comes around.
We had to play it again. Of course.
And holding on for dear life. And poor Askarov just doing everything he can.
Because they go in with the lead, right?
They had the lead.
Yeah, 2-1.
Yes, 2-1.
Okay.
Going into the third period.
Yep.
Edmonton ties it with 18 seconds left.
And it was like a scrum. I think it was I think they probably pulled Picard, right?
Yes. Goalie's pulled. They got the extra checker.
It's just
the Sharks had a chance to clear and didn't.
Yep.
And then the puck ends up in the back of the net. And
you can see Askarov just like, oh no. He's like, just yeah.
Oh, they did win 2 cups. I was right. Sorry.
Okay, I was wrong.
Yeah. No, Tampa was 2 cups. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe it was 1 cup.
Teams win Stanley Cups sometimes. We don't need to know. Yeah, it's fine.
Yes. All right. Anyway, Askarov standing on his head in this game. Poor guy can't get a win.
I know.
So they tie the game. They go to overtime.
He has like 42 saves, by the way.
Yes.
In the first period, they had played well on defense, not giving up a ton of shots.
Yes.
So kind of back to like how they played against Winnipeg, limiting this team that has all this offensive talent and just hanging in there. But it's the first period. And then, they give up the goal right at the death. And then it's overtime.
Then they go to overtime, and then they did get a chance. They won the faceoff.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's go. Let's talk about this. Because Celebrini wins the faceoff.
Against McDavid.
Yep.
Oh, no, sorry. Draisaitl took the faceoff.
Yeah, because McDavid is playing like on the left wing, right? For some reason.
Yeah.
And then Celebrini has to win it, and it's coming to the board to the right. And it's like, okay. And then he loses it, but then you see Granlund, he's like he's stuck. It's like he's in like some quicksand.
Yeah.
McDavid's holding his stick.
Yeah.
Not called.
Of course.
It's not called.
McDavid.
Which, of course. And then he can't get involved into the play at all because his stick's being held. He falls down. Or he just is out of the play. Celebrini is on his own, loses it, and then it's just... That's all she wrote. They go down. McDavid does what he does.
They're playing against 3-on-3. Draisaitl,
Yep.
McDavid, Bouchard.
There you go.
Bouchard was one of the top scoring defensemen last year.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he's playing with Draisaitl and McDavid all the time, but it's like going against Gretzky and Messier and Paul Coffey. Like, are you kidding me?
Have fun. Figure it out.
Yeah, good luck.
But yeah, they come down. McDavid, he's like on the left, and he just passes it to the right to Draisaitl, and he almost saved, like, it's not a clean goal.
No.
Because it's on the near post, and Askarov, again, he wants this one back too as well. Because he's right, I mean, it's literally like if he's there,
He said, Askarov had said after the game, he thought he was going high. He thought Draisaitl was going high, and he ended up going low.
And it just split.
Yep.
That's all it takes. He was there, and just, I almost feel like it went off his jersey. It goes in.
Just frustrating. So the Sharks end up with 1 point out of these 3 games when they should have had 6. They let 5 points slip away from them.
He said him burn all their legs in the overtime.
Right. Yeah. 18 seconds in, I mean,
that's fine.
Time to get on the plane. Let's go, boys. Next city. Yeah.
That was rough. Those were rough because, again, they were in all those games. They were in all of them to the point where you're like, they could win this game.
Yeah.
Not so much. I never thought they should win the game because I'm not there yet. But they could win this game. And then it's just, you could just see.
So, how bad was this third period woes this season? I actually have a post here about this. This is from Darren Stevens, a Blue Sky Post. Excuse me. Sharks lost their 4th straight game, because it goes back to last week. They're 0-3-1 after leading in the third period in each. 4 straight losses after leading in the final frame are tied for the most in NHL history. They are the 6th team to do it. The last was the Canadiens, which was last season. So, that sucks, man.
History.
Not the right kind of history that you want to see.
You're on the wrong side of history.
Yes. But it's just not the right book you want to be in.
I'm actually surprised that this doesn't happen more. I mean, it's tough.
I mean, the Sharks, you have to be good enough to be leading.
True.
Going into the third period, right?
But then lose.
Bad enough to lose it.
That's right.
So it's kind of a conundrum.
You're right.
There's only so many teams there's a finite list of teams that are good enough to go into the third period, the lead, and then lose.
And then just lose it consistently, and then just,
But in a row? 4 games in a row?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
The next game up, I'm going to go ahead.
Wait a second. So that means they didn't do this. They didn't do that last year?
No, because they didn't have the lead going into the third period. They were that bad. They were getting blown out in the games.
So much better. See, they're so much better. They're better.
Frustrating. It is frustrating because everyone now watching the Sharks now can see. I mean, they're watching Celebrini because he's fantastic on the puck, off the puck, whatever. He's just he's somebody that you need to be watching. But then you watch and you kind of get hooked and you're like, oh, the Sharks are winning. This is great. Like, this is a good feeling.
Keep it on.
It's been a while. They have a lead, and then they go into the third period and they just suck the life out of you. So it's frustrating. It's tough to be a Sharks fan because they are close
close on that,
being that team, right?
Where you have expectations going into the third.
Yes. Now, I'm curious. Did I put this note down here? I did not. I'm going to do roll call right now. Roll call. Tell us what city you are watching from. And do you think Askarov is ready for full-time NHL action? I was going to ask you this. So now that Askarov is called up, so Vanchek's on IR. He's probably going to be out for a couple of weeks. So Askarov will be on the team for a couple of weeks. It's fine. Now, after that game, that was an amazing display of athleticism and everything. You want to hear some stats about some sad stats, I guess. Sad. I don't know if that's the right word.
Oh, okay.
The goaltending for the Sharks right now.
Oh, no. So you're going to talk about my goaltending.
For my goaltending. Well, you don't have Askarov.
You're right. I'll have 2 out of 3.
Right. Let me pull up. Let me pull this up real quick, which is I'm gonna pull up like the whole season, so all the goalies, including Blackwood.
Okay.
And Blackwood had played pretty well for the Sharks. What's that? Go ahead. Go ahead. You can read it.
Thank you, Paul, for chiming in on your show. It's okay, entertaining hockey, and then we draft Victor Eklund.
I know a lot of people are. That's William's little brother. That's going to be a top 5 pick.
Let's go.
Okay. So we have Vanacek, Georgiev, Blackwood, and Askarov that have played in goal for the Sharks.
Yep.
Askarov for the Sharks, 928 save percentage.
All right, let's stop. Let's stop right there. Let's go. That was all. Yep.
2.3 goals against average.
Mm-hmm.
And his goals saved above expected is 2.7, which is good. Not great, but it's good. Blackwood was 909 save percentage, so versus 928.
Yeah.
3.0 goals against average.
Okay. Solid GPA.
He had 5.55 goals saved above average. Pretty good. Which is why I was saying Colorado needs to get him.
Yeah.
Because Georgiev was on the complete other end of that. Now, Georgiev has an 869 save percentage, a 3.75 goals against average, and this is just the Sharks games, by the way, not his games with Colorado.
I'm familiar with all the games.
Right. So his goals saved above expected is minus 2.54, so he's actually not saving more goals than you think he could. He's doing worse than he should. And then Vanacek, not much better. 885, better save percentage. 384 goals against average. His goals saved above expected is negative 5.79.
These are great GPAs, by the way. The GPAs keep getting higher and higher. Ivy League for them, but for goaltending, it's not.
All right, just going off a save percentage alone. Vanacek and Georgiev versus Askarov. 885, 869, 928. One of these is not like the other. Now, is it time...
On the road.
Is it time for...
On the road.
Askarov?
Yeah, let's go.
But do you want the Sharks to win right now?
We're doing that?
Okay. Well, I mean, they're not gonna make playoffs.
True.
So why tank your chances? I'm not saying to tank the team.
No.
But why get a 14th overall pick when you can get a 9th overall pick, 8th overall pick?
Yeah.
You know, like you're in the top 10 versus top 15. It's a big difference.
Huge difference.
In talent. So, going back to that question, do you think Askarov should be taking over now and giving the Sharks the best chance to win? Or do you think once Vanacek is healthy, I mean, this all comes down to when Vanacek is back.
Yeah.
Do you send him back down? Now, you can't send those two guys down unless you're burying them in the minors, which I'd have to look if they even have that in their contract if you're allowed
And then, I know, like, for hockey, since they just traded for Georgiev, they can't trade him again this year, right?
They can.
They can't.
Yeah.
There's no waiting period.
No, he can't.
Interesting.
So my thinking is the Sharks are hoping Spear, who's their goaltending coach, and everyone has great things to say about him, including Blackwood. He got Blackwood back on track. Hopefully Georgiev and Vanacek get on track because their contracts are up at the end of this year, so they'd be considered rental players. But getting that value up
enough to
get something
back,
right?
Yeah.
Something like, I'm not expecting a second round pick like they got for Blackwood.
No.
I'm thinking maybe a 4th round.
That's fine.
3rd or 4th round, I would be very happy with for either one, Vanacek or Georgiev, because both of those guys are not going to be coming back next season. So you're getting something for nothing.
That means they have to go in the free agent market and find a new number one.
So they'll both be free agents. Well, the Sharks already signed Askarov. The next 2 seasons, he's going to have an NHL salary.
Yep.
So he's going to be...
He'll be
it's
here
a one-way contract, so he will be at the
here.
NHL level. So at that point, they'll need to find a backup.
I don't want them to win too much to put them out of the... But then that's the conundrum, right? But then you're missing a chance for them to learn how to win sooner than later. Why wait till next season? You can put Askarov in there. They win some close games. Maybe they win on the road in Edmonton again if they even play him again. Or a nail biter, or they fight back and he's standing on his head and they somehow score 2 goals and win. You're pushing that down till next season if he doesn't play enough. But then you're hurting your chance. Come on, Greer, figure it out. He will.
Oh, I'm getting some flack, a 3rd or 4th for Vanacek and Georgiev. Are you selling what Aaron is drinking? My point is Spear's going to make the magic happen between now and the trade deadline. That's what I'm saying. By the trade deadline, to make them better, I think I would be happy with a third or fourth, obviously.
Yes.
It's probably not going to happen if they're playing the way they're playing now. If they're playing the way they're playing now, they're not even tradable.
Yeah,
Nobody's going to take them. But I'm hoping that Spear can work with their game and get them back on track.
And maybe knowing that Askarov is right here, he just put up that great performance in Edmonton.
Yes.
Had him in the game until they didn't win the game, but it's fine.
Shout out to Mike O'Dowd, who's watching from the airport city of Vantaa, Finland.
What?
So somebody watching from Finland right now, which is the hometown of a former Sharks goalie. I'm going to guess, who's the Finnish goalie?
Oh my gosh, I can see...
Toskala?
Veska Toskala?
Yeah, I think he was Finnish.
Okay. What about the one... we had another one.
Niemi?
No, yeah. Was he Finnish?
I don't think he was Finnish.
Okay.
Is that who you're
Apologies.
thinking of?
That's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he was. I
Anthony,
could be wrong.
Anthony.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of people were saying he should go back down to the AHL because Calder Cup, which is the Stanley Cup of the AHL, so he can win the Calder Cup with them. Now, I looked this up. I was like wondering, since he got called up, how the Barracuda been doing, because they don't have their number one goalie, Asgarov.
Very smart. Let's
go. He missed 3 games with them. Was it 3 or 2? 3.
Well, wait, 3 or 2?
Where are we?
I think just
3. They played 3.
Okay.
Because he got called up Wednesday after Vanacek got hurt on Tuesday, so he got called up Wednesday. They won that game 5-2 against Coachella. Okay. Then they played Bakersfield and lost 2-0. Then they played Bakersfield again and lost 4-2. So they had 1 win and 2 losses without Askarov, which is probably on par for what they would do without Askarov for the season if he were to stay up with the Sharks. So, is it better for... Who's it better for, right?
I guess it's better
long-term goals or short-term goals?
I guess send him down. I'm leaning towards send him down, get some more experience, helps the Barracuda. I mean, and then that way, my goalies, Vanacek and Georgiev, somehow turn it around and then become a valuable trade piece, trade one of them. Then you just bring up Askarov, I guess, again.
I mean, once they trade one of them, if they're able to trade any of them, Askarov's going to be coming up, and he's going to be pretty much the starter.
Which is good.
Totally fine.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No.
I feel like you know everything.
No.
How late can this happen?
The trade deadline in the NHL is March 7th.
Oh.
So there's plenty of time.
Yeah, plenty of time. Okay.
But in February, there's a big break. Usually there's the All-Star game. They're not playing the All-Star game this year.
Because they're going to do what this year?
They're doing the, what's it called? The Four Nations Cup? Four Nations Tournament? I don't know. Four Nations thingy.
Yes.
So they're playing a tournament, which I think is great because you're going to get 4 teams worth of All-Stars, essentially, playing against each other. Yeah. And while the rest of the NHL is taking a break.
Good. Just resting, relaxing, recuperating.
Yep. Yeah.
So we have some time. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to move on to something else. Jake Walman. I wanted to talk about Jake Walman a little bit. He was traded by the Detroit Red Wings with, I believe it was a second-round pick. I can't remember off the top of my head. For a bag of pucks. His future considerations, which has never been named what it's going to be. And that's usually the proverbial bag of pucks. Yeah. So Detroit was like, please take Jake Walman and a second-round pick for your troubles. Jake Walman has turned that around and is having a career season already, a career year. He, I have a tweet here. NHL PR had this post up on Twitter. Walman enjoying success with the Sharks. Jake Walman, in 31 games, became the fastest defenseman in Sharks history to record the first 20 assists with the franchise, besting the previous pace set by Erik Karlsson in his first season, 18-19, in 34 games. So he beat him by 3 games. Now, this was the first time a defenseman was on the team. I think I misread it earlier, thinking it was ever. But
got it. Okay.
It's his new team. First time for a Sharks defenseman coming in and leading and getting 20 assists that quickly.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Still, the fact that he beat Karlsson was my. You told me that, and I was like,
I mean, he's not going to beat Karlsson. He's not like the next Karlsson. But he's having himself a year, right? On top of that, he's one of 2 players that are a plus on the Sharks team. Do you remember the other one? I have it pulled over there if you want to cheat.
Oh, no, I do want to cheat. Oh, yeah.
Good old tomato face, baby face.
Yeah.
Fabian Zetterlund, who is a +5. So, Yeah, Jake Walman +5. He's got 25 points, 5 goals, 20 assists, 25 points in 31 games.
I feel like all his points now are like sneaky.
It's a lot of assists.
I would have never guessed he had 20 assists.
Yeah. He's been making plays, man. He's been doing pretty good. So, I have this other thing that I'm going to pull up here. This is a heat map. So, Jake Walman loves playing with Celebrini, but Celebrini loves playing with Jake Walman. Okay. And here's why. On the ice, when these two are together, there's 2 charts here. The chart on the left, and the red is good. Chart on the left is when Celebrini and Walman are together on the ice. Magic happens, right?
Yes.
Now, Celebrini on the right, without Walman on, there's still some red there, but that is a vast difference.
No, that red is that's some dark red on the left.
So you were saying it's sneaky, right? It's because he's usually on the ice with Celebrini when Celebrini's getting his points.
God, yeah.
So he's getting his points
That's
because
on me.
of Celebrini. So it's not just Celebrini making Walman better. Walman's also making Celebrini better because Walman is a very aggressive defenseman coming up to play offense. Mm-hmm. So he kind of not cheats. That's not the right word, but he cheats for offense. He's going in and he's going in to score.
If I get caught, I trust myself. I can get back, or I'll figure it out. But I'm going to go here first, try to get this goal or this assist. And if I need to work backwards, I'll figure it out. Right. Or someone will cover it. I don't know.
Yeah,
it'll get done.
But he's getting points. He's doing well, and it's fun to watch.
25 points. Wow. Did he miss some time? I feel like he hasn't played every game. He hasn't played every game, right?
Who, Walman?
Yeah.
I want to say he's close.
Yeah, I mean, so he hasn't played every game.
He's got 31 of 36, so he missed 5 games.
He's even missed 5 games.
Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
And he is 3rd in scoring on the team with 25 points. He's behind Eklund with 26, and then Granlund at 32.
Wow.
And then it goes Zetterlund, then Celebrini. Now, Celebrini did miss whatever it was, 12 games. So he's a little bit behind. But I'm curious to see if Celebrini leads this team in scoring, if he catches Granlund at this point. If Granlund probably will get traded though, but if he doesn't, it would be curious to see if Celebrini would be able to catch Granlund or not in a full season. Yeah. So where am I? Sorry.
Oh, roll call. Do you do roll call?
I did the roll call.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about Askarov for the roll call.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Finland.
Okay, so now we're going to go into our next thing, the Calder race update. Mm-hmm. So I think we have a little graphic here. So producer Jason. Celebrini, we're going to talk about Celebrini and the Calder race. Now, he's been playing kind of catch-up because he missed 12 games. So he missed practically the entire month of October. Leading off the Calder race. Now, we're going in terms of points right now. Mm-hmm. Matvei Michkov is still leading the pack. Now, it's interesting. This is the exact same as what I had posted last week, except for the plus-minus, because he hasn't scored a point in the last 5 games. So he's in kind of a slump right now. And he plays for John Tortorella. And when you're not scoring and you're not playing defense doing all the John little,
Tortorella. No.
So his last 5 games, he has no points and a -8.
Whew.
Now, Philadelphia is not a great team right now.
No,
but he is going to be the guy that's probably going to be leading that team. Him and Konechny is another one. Mm-hmm. I didn't pull up their stats because I'm just too lazy and it's not a Philadelphia show. But
exactly.
Michkov is slowing down in the race, which is giving Macklin some time and space to catch up. So going into second place, though, he did get leapfrog because Celebrini was in second last. I think he was in second last week. Lane Hudson has been scoring. So Lane Hudson in the last 5 games has a goal and 5 assists. So he's been doing well. He's the guy. So this is the guy. I think we talked about this last time, right?
Yes. We know this. No, we did. Let's do it again.
Did we talk?
Yeah, we did.
We're doing our draft in our fantasy hockey, and Deveraux was not. He was the only one not in person because he was gone. He was fine. He had another event, but he still was on his phone drafting. And it's the 4th round, and he drafts Lane Hudson. And I paused the draft. I was like, hold on. I think this is not what he meant to do. I think it was in his queue.
He's been hacked.
Wasn't, like, maybe he ran out of service. And everyone was on board because everyone was like, why did he draft Lane Hudson the 4th? We're pausing this. We're going to get Deveraux on the phone and make sure that he meant to do it. And he goes, no, he meant to do it. I meant to do it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I honestly didn't even know who Lane Hudson was. I was like, because one year... Going back, I mean, we're going off on a tangent here, but one year, Brad, in our hockey league, had drafted a fake player out of Russia because he was going off some Yahoo thing, and they did something wrong, and so they actually, I think he was a real player, but Yahoo had accidentally put him in like the top 100 players, and he should have been like 2,000, like a guy that was not even going to be. He's not even in the NHL. He's in the KHL. So that's always been the running joke in our league. But anyway.
Well, now we have a new running joke.
Lane Hudson. Every time I think Lane Hudson, I go, oh, the 4th rounder has 0 keeper value now because you drafted him in the 4th round.
I know.
You could have drafted him in the last round and nobody would have heard about him. So Lane Hudson 2nd. So now going to 3rd, we have our last guy, the one, the only.
There he is.
Macklin Celebrini. Macklin in the last 5 games has 3 goals and 4 assists, so he's got 7 points. He is just...
He's humming. He's humming right along.
He's catching them. Man. So he is... now he's only 4 points behind Michkov for the race. This is... I mean, his pace right now is 0.96 points per game. Almost a point per game. It's pretty close. Michkov has dropped because he hasn't scored. Yeah. So now he's at 0.84. Lane Hudson, because he's played so many games, is at 0.76. So... pace-wise, Celebrini should catch him.
Yes.
If everything stays the same, which it won't.
No.
Michov's going to go up and down. But like I said last week, Michkov plays for Tortorella. If he's not scoring and he's not doing the off-the-puck stuff, Tortorella's going to bench him. Yeah, right? On the bench. He's going to get... And I looked, not last game, but 2 games ago, I think he only had 12 minutes of ice time. Oof. Where Celebrini's getting closer to 20 a night. He's usually leading the team. Leading the forwards, at least. And it also depends on power play time. A lot of Michkov's points have come from the power play.
Okay.
But when refs start swallowing their whistles, they don't call as much, which we saw this week in a lot of the Sharks games.
Yeah. That will going to be dry.
I think we're going to see Michkov kind of drop down, and Celebrini is going to continue doing Celebrini things. He's so good. It's crazy how good he is.
He again, all the hype, number 1 pick, all the comparisons and everything, but he's lived up to the hype.
I think he's gone beyond the hype. I don't think he had enough hype.
Okay.
I honestly, I think so many people were hyping up Bedard the year before as the generational talent.
Compared to where the hype for Mac, it was not as...
No, Mac was he's the consensus number 1 in that draft class.
You're right. And also they were saying he's not as good. He's not as good of a prospect as Bedard, right? So he's, okay, you're right.
Not as good as Bedard. He might be falling somewhere, whatever, below Jack Hughes. I don't even know. He might be better than Jack Hughes, which he's fantastic as well. Yeah. But I don't know. Peter St. John just asked, is Macklin an all-star? I think so. If there was an all-star game. There's not going to be an all-star game, right? So he's not making next. He's not going to be named an all-star because there's no all-star game. Now that'd be interesting.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, that kind of sucks, right?
Damn.
For players that would might be their first all-star game.
Oh yeah, he's going to lose out on that.
No. And he wasn't. He's not going to be on Team Canada either because they just have too many people. So maybe next year he makes. Well, they won't have. The 4 Nations, they'll have an All-Star game next year.
Yeah, so maybe that's what I mean, yeah. So
next year, absolutely. Yeah, he'll be an All-Star. I mean, Granlund will probably be gone because his contract's up, so he might even be traded at the deadline. So he won't be there. Otherwise, I would say, Granlund should be deserving of being the All-Star player. But, no All-Star game, so...
Interesting, okay. I just think I was I think the little things I wasn't really expecting. I hadn't done a lot of research. I just knew number one pick, and I'd watched some highlights and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't really like delve deep.
Mm-hmm.
But like all the little things, it does seem like, even though he's only 18, that he is. I mean, he's not in the locker room like, obviously like, hey, I think you should do this, do that. I think people are still respect him in such a way where it's like they see his work ethic and what he's doing on the ice. He's all the defense, everything. And then it's just everyone's being drawn. Like, I think he's
lead by example, right? Yeah, he's leading by example. So he's doing all the things that
everything that
he's
you
doing
expect
things
of
that
veterans.
NHL veterans do. Yeah, not an 18-year-old. Like it's crazy. Like this is stuff Will Smith should be watching him and doing what he's doing, right?
Well,
Paul.
Well, I mean, they didn't show him on the jumbotron. That's why I can't. I have to go.
No,
watch
he
that.
was on the jumbotron.
Oh,
they didn't put his name on the jumbotron.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Center hung.
Yeah, center hung,
Oh,
whatever.
wow.
Not jumbotron.
Center. Oh, yeah.
Because
That's
jumbotron
right.
is
Yes.
it's like Kleenex versus tissue.
Okay. I'm learning.
So am I, and I don't care.
I can't wait to watch that and I'll shed a tear. I'm gonna shed a tear.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
That's rough. Okay. Sorry. I know we brought it up 2 times. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
Yeah. Peter St. John again. Mac has proven so far to be a much better player than we or anyone else expected. We keep waiting for him to slow down, yet he just doesn't. I agree. Yeah.
Paul, I saw that, by the way. Thank you for sending that.
Mecha Kev, next comment. Bedard was dubbed as a generational player, and Celebrini was a franchise player. I think it might be the other way around eventually. I agree.
And yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
Okay.
I don't want to discount Bedard.
No.
He's going to be. I feel like he's the next Ovechkin, the pure goal scorer. He's a goal scorer, right? Celebrini is more like Crosby, all around.
Yeah, like
Does everything great
because he has 20
Playmaking,
points, right?
Scoring,
10 goals,
yes.
10 assists.
Off the puck stuff, right?
He's doing everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I think the comparison should be more.
Okay.
Of Ov,
I can see that.
Ov versus Crosby, Bedard versus Celebrini.
I'm so glad the NHL didn't do anything and he's here.
Yes.
Celebrini's here.
I
There's
know.
no
It's
shenanigans.
crazy, right?
No. It's crazy.
It's crazy the Sharks got the first overall pick because that's never happened.
That's crazy.
It's crazy that Celebrini is this good.
Yes.
I was worried it was going to be like Slavlovsky of Montreal.
Oh,
the first
yeah.
overall
Where it
pick.
was like,
He's good.
yeah.
But he's not
number one pick.
He's not Celebrini. He's not Bedard. He's
Yeah.
not any of those guys.
Like,
So
okay.
yeah, I'm happy. Very, very happy. All right, going into this week's games. 3 games.
Oh, great. Lucky number 3. 3
Even though
periods, 3
Christmas,
games.
there's a Christmas break here, and there's still 3 games.
Oh, gosh.
Tomorrow night against Vancouver. It's a 6 p.m. game.
In Vancouver.
Sorry, it's in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I put verse, but I meant in. Now they were talking to Celebrini because Celebrini's from Vancouver.
Right, yeah, it's his first game.
So they were making the joke like, "Are you playing to pay for the tickets tonight?" Because he had to buy so many tickets for all of his family and friends. Like he said, his grandparents are going to be there, his cousins, everybody, and all of his friends are going to be there. There's probably going to be, I would say, close to 100 people, at my guess, of family and friends that he bought. Maybe not. Maybe 50. I don't know. I just made that number up.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. He named a lot of people. I was like, dang, that's a lot of people. So his first game back in his hometown, Vancouver, and he said it was wild because he grew up, his dad worked for Vancouver, for the Canucks, before he was at the Warriors.
Okay.
So he was at the Canucks and the Whitecaps, which is the MLS team.
Yep.
He was doing work for both teams. And so Celebrini grew up going to the arena with him and his little brother, who's up and coming and also going to be a fantastic player. And they skated out there, and he's like, it's really weird going into that arena, and now I'm an NHL player, and now I'm going through all motions of an NHL player of a place that he grew up as a kid.
Just as a kid, just like, okay, swim, shoot it.
In an NHL arena, like on NHL ice, like just bananas. So he was like, yeah, that's a little weird. That's crazy. So yeah, it'll be cool, and I think he's going to have a great game because he's going to have the motivation to play his butt off. I mean, not that he needs anything, right?
We weren't saying he's slacking or
right.
anything.
Not at all. Now, do you think the Sharks get a win here in Vancouver?
I think when I looked, Vancouver lost 3 in a row. There's like some talk. I even saw some talk of like some trick, like.
Did you see the rumors going around about Vancouver?
Yeah, was it like Pedersen?
Pedersen and JT Miller.
Yeah, because I saw them.
They're like top 2 players, right? So JT Miller took some time off away from the team, which is weird, and they didn't announce what it was. They just said he's going to take some personal time, and he took a couple weeks off. I know because he's on my fantasy team. So he missed a lot of time, and then he finally came back, and I think him and Pedersen aren't even like, they're not playing on the same line. They're like,
it's a whole thing.
It's really weird. So something amiss in Vancouver, right? They're off, and you kill a locker room like that.
You can't have, you got to be all going on the same way, same direction, same page, rowing in the same, that whole thing. But yeah, that's weird. You know what? They get a win. Oh wait, I want to know who's gonna start. Actually, I want to know who's gonna be in goal.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
let
me see if they announced it yet.
Because if it's Askarov, I'm gonna say win. If it's not
right.
Askarov, more than likely a win. I'll go like 75% or something. 70%.
Where are we at tomorrow? I don't have anything yet, so I don't know.
No. It's all good.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Remember, the locker room's in disarray. 3-game losing streak. Celebrini's gonna have all this mojo.
If they can fix their third period woes and don't have the lead going into the third period and come back against Vancouver, maybe it's a win.
They're just good enough, but they're good enough to do that. they're good enough to have the lead. Just, you know what? No, I'm still gonna say win. No matter who.
They're gonna win. All right.
They're gonna win.
Friday against Vegas at home. Loss? You think it's a loss? They're playing here in San Jose.
I just.
I hate Vegas.
I know. I just. I don't want them to lose.
Well, yeah.
Well, you know what I mean.
They could lose all season. Sharks could lose every game. Beat Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't care. Do what you do. Do what you can.
Save it all up.
Beat Vegas.
Save it all up.
Just like when they played LA, when there was a big rivalry with LA. You got to beat LA. Just like the Giants, they're awful. You still got to beat LA, right? Wow. You just. It feels good when you beat them.
And then it feels even better because they're so good.
Right.
Like, they feel like they just win every game. I'm gonna go a close loss. I'll go close loss. A close loss.
Okay. Close loss against Vegas. All right. Then they played the next night against Calgary, and that's a 7 p.m. start.
And I saw this. Calgary's off for a week.
Yeah.
They're off for a week.
Oh, they are?
They're off for a week.
Oh, who do you have on Calgary?
No.
I didn't know that.
I looked it up.
I was like, wow.
I think their last game is on the 21st. They don't play again until that Saturday, the 28th.
Wow.
They have a whole
backfire.
week.
That could backfire.
A week.
That's a lot of time
That's
off.
a long time.
I mean, it probably won't. But I'm just trying to throw some good news out there for Sharks
I don't like
fans.
Calgary either.
And it's a back-to-back for the Sharks.
Great. Awesome.
They're playing a very well-rested team on a back-to-back. That's what you call a scheduled loss.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be...
That one's going to be rough. So I'm going to say they beat Vancouver.
Okay.
I'm going to say they take it to Vegas.
Take it? What is that?
They beat Vegas, and then they lose to Calgary.
Wait, so a close win, or they blow out Vegas?
Not blow out. They're going to win. They're going to win.
Like a 4-3 or something.
I don't even care at the score.
Okay.
They're going to win. Because Askarov is going to start the Vegas game. So they're going to beat Vegas.
Okay.
And I think Georgiev plays the Calgary game. On the back-to-back.
Okay. No, yeah, you don't... Yeah, he wouldn't do the back. He wouldn't play back-to-back. They had that week.
I'm assuming Georgiev is playing tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, I'll say they win in Calgary.
It's here.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, okay, they win. They'll win.
They're going to beat Calgary.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not going to.
So what did you say? You said beat all three?
No. Not Vegas.
Oh, not Vegas. You said win Vancouver, lose Vegas, beat Calgary.
Yeah.
I guess I'm saying beat Vancouver and Vegas.
Yeah.
Lose to Calgary.
Lose Calgary.
That's what I think.
So 2 wins.
We're both predicting 2 wins. Yeah. Anyway. All right.
Oh, Paul. Just looking at Paul. Sorry we couldn't get to all your comments, Paul.
Oh, man. Oh, they're trying to bet me on if they're going to win or not.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like what?
Oh, Paul just said, is Smith scratched for development days? Seats my decision on wins versus losses. I don't know. I don't know if they've announced that yet. Whatever. All right. Anything else you want to add for the week?
I Hopefully they fix their third period woes. At least one game, just one complete game, right? That can be. No one says like a 5-0, shut. Just.
I think it'll help their confidence, right?
It has to. It has to.
It's frustrating to watch. I'm hoping they go into the Christmas break, they get a win, feel good about themselves, feel rested, come back, thirsty for more.
But then you said they lose.
No, I said they beat Vegas.
Yeah.
And then lose to Calgary.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. We really appreciate it. And if you have any Sharks friends that have never heard of us, please get the word out. The Fin Factor. We're here, weekly podcast. We're a lot of fun. Sometimes it's Paul, sometimes it's Deveraux, sometimes it's not me either. So
it's always him.
It's it. Not always. I do miss sometimes. Anyway, we appreciate you and we thank you. And for super producer Jason, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Deveraux.
And we will see you next week.
Take it easy.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, check out our other content, especially interviews. You can interact with us directly through social media at The Fin Factor and on Instagram at Fin Factor. And don't forget to join our live streams on YouTube.
Visit our website at thefinfactor.com, where you'll find all of our episodes as videos or podcasts. You'll also find our exclusive merchandise to